Hey guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Reviews. I've done a lot of videos here lately on some multi-tools, and as I was, looking at those tools and kind of going over all the features, I saw something on Amazon and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try that out. And what I want to take a look at today is I've already taken it out of the package, but I'll show you the packaging it comes in. It's kind of hard to see it with the light. But this is the Galvanox flat end bit driver set. So it's got a driver, like a ratchet style driver, and an extension. So that's the two pieces that come in this kit. If we take a look at it outside of the box, you've got this small little black driver head. And it's flat, so it'll fit your Leatherman type tools, and then the extension, and they're both there's magnets inside of this one. But when I got this, I was thinking to myself, what tools can I use it with, right, out of the ones that I've bought. And I was kind of surprised with those different options. But right now, at the time of filming, this set's coming in at $24.99. I did get it for $19 on sale. They do have clickable coupons. Keep an eye on them. Sometimes the black one will be cheaper. Other times it comes in black and silver. Sometimes the silver one will be cheaper. But I've seen them to, 10, 15, 20, sometimes even 30% off on these tools. So what I would tell people is click the notifications on Amazon, throw this thing in your cart, and when the price drops, you'll get a notification so you don't miss it. That's kind of what I do. It's worked for me. And it did come with free one-day shipping. So I ordered it. The next day it was at the house. And, these are heavy-duty carbon steel. So they're going to be rugged. They're going to last for a long time. The ratchet head itself, you can hear it, that's a 72 tooth ratchet, so that's going to be a pretty good precision ratchet. But I do like the fact that this thing is going to fit in a standard 1/4 inch extension, which we'll look at that. Well, you can look at it right here. That's a standard 1/4 inch, and it fits in there. So you just extended the length of your ratchet by just using the extension that comes with it. Now you can just use this. You don't have to put it in anything. If you've got some bits, you just add your bit in there. Well, this one I don't think is going to work because these are the ball detents. Oh, okay. So it'll accept almost anything. So these are the ones with the little ball on there. And I was surprised that it actually fit in there, and it fits in there good. And you could actually, it'll push out if you try to use the back. But now you've got a ratchet that you could break down and toss all these little components in a small little bag like this, right? You can put this in a pocket. You unzip that, throw your pieces in there, and now you have a ratchet. Nice, slim, fit in a back pocket, front pocket, shirt pocket. A little too big for a 5th pocket, but you could take these tools themselves, and if you could find an even smaller pack or a small tin, now you could actually almost fit these in a 5th pocket. It's going to stick up a little, but if that's how you chose to carry it, you could do that. Now, what I like about the tool, other than its normal functions, is let's look at some different multi-tools that we've got here. Now, this is the Ozark Trail Multi-Force. The only bad thing about this one is it is made for the ball detent style tools, right? So that's the force that holds it in. It's not magnetic. These will fit in there. You can use them, but they will fall out. But in a pinch, if you had this and you needed to extend your multi-tool, or you needed a ratchet so you could put a socket on there, it will work if you're going side to side, but you know, if you're working at an angle, it's going to fall out. So that would be the drawback of using it with the multi-force. Then here we have the Decoy. And this one, oh, where'd we go? Has your Leatherman style flat bits already. So I thought, man, that would perfectly fit in there. It does not. What you have to do is these have this little, kind of like a detent arm that is it's spring. It's made out of spring steel. So that's what holds the bit in there. You can use it with this tool without anything special, but the flat end that comes with it, if you just put it right in there, press that little arm down, now you can use it. And it's in there. I mean, now you've got a socket on this tool. So that's two tools it'll work on. This one, both of those, right, aren't perfect, but they will work. And that's the Decoy, their 18-in-1 multi-tool. Then, if we look at this one, which was the cheapest one, you could find this on Amazon, guys. Temu, it'll go on sale. And I think when I got it, it was 14 bucks. Right now they're 24. But I've seen them again on Temu now for 15. This is a really good tool for that. It's a great tool. I would pay the 25 for it, $24.99. I would pay that for this tool all day long. It was the cheapest tool out so far out of the ones I showed you. I mean, you're looking at 39, 45 when you catch it on sale, 50 when it's not. And then you're looking at 13 bucks, right? To 15. But this one is the same flat bit style, but this is magnetic. So in this tool, it fits the best. And I mean, it's in there. It's not going to fall out. You're not going to shake it out of there. You don't have to worry about it falling out. Now, I will go over what I did on this piece. And I think for Galvanox, they're designed in the United States. They're made overseas. I think it was a quality control issue. But I had to file down. It had like a little ridge on all four of these sides. And I had to file them down to get it to fit. And when I say file it down, I just shaved off that little burr, excuse me guys, that was on there. This, you can tell I did not file it. That's the way it came. It fit. So that might just be a quality control issue with this tool. Now there's several other companies that make these tools, but you know, this was the cheapest. This came in, like I said, at 25 bucks, but you could catch it a lot cheaper than that. I think, like I said, when I got it, it was 17, 19, something like that. So this tool, it fits the best with, but we got more, right? There's still more options, and that's what I like about a tool, is when you could almost carry it with everything you've got, right? Here's the O-Knife precision driver. We did a review on this. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch the review on this. This has 4mm bits, but I bought a kit to take the 4mm and turn it into a 1/4 inch. Now I've got a ratchet with this tool, right? And that's a pretty long handled ratchet. And that's in there because this has really good magnets. Same with this. Now I've got a super long standard size screwdriver almost. Get in the, you know, tighter areas, through a hole, whatever that you need to tighten up, working on a bike, UTV, four-wheeler, whatever. Well, now you can take this entire kit in all its glory, and toss it in that bag. And you can tell, guys, it's not thick. That is nice and flat. That's an easy back pocket carry. Easy front pocket carry. You know, a lot of people are trying to, any of your bags, you know, like your Maxpedition bags, Vanquest, any of these kind of bags, you can shove this in this front pocket. And you've got a whole ratchet set with you. Just throw some bits in there. But not only will it fit on the O-knife tool, we'll get all our components back out here. We'll put this guy to the side, but we will keep that. Now we're looking at the O-knife utility blade with the 4mm bit driver. So if you have this tool and you buy that extension, which is magnetically held in there, even though this is a flat blade or a flat style on there, it fits in your standard 1/4 inch. And now you've just taken your utility driver or utility knife and made it into, yeah, that's a better word. You made it into a utility driver. Now you've got a ratchet to go along with your utility knife. And again, guys, a little dealy back in there, shut this down. You see the game all over again, right? It'll all fit in here. So depending what you're carrying, all of these things other than the multi-tools, that multi-tool might fit. It'll be snug. Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time, but you get the concept, right? The smaller of the tools would all fit. And then you have a small little kit there. All you got to do is throw some bits in there and you're good to go. So that's one thing I look for in tools, and that's why, you know, I kind of try to think outside the box, right? If somebody was to buy this tool, is it only useful for one thing? If so, that limits, you know, do you have to buy 3 or 4 sets? Do you have to buy a certain tool? The answer is no. It's going to hold up well in anything that's 1/4 inch that's magnetized. It's going to hold up well in anything that's magnetized 4mm if you buy this adapter. And it'll hang, you know, fit in anything that's a Leatherman style flat bit. And some of the other tools that aren't magnetized, that use that ball detent, it will fit in there, but it's going to fall out. But in a bind, you could use it. So it kind of opens this tool up to a bunch of different areas where I see it fitting. And, you know, that's what I'm looking for. If I'm going to buy a tool, can I throw it in several different kits? I haven't decided which way I want to use this thing yet, how I'm going to store this, what I'm going to do. What I'm thinking about doing is buying a sheath for this, because the one that comes with it is just like this. There is room, but it's not perfect, right? But they will all fit. I've got everything I need in there. But when you open it up, yeah, that ratchet part's going to fall out because it's just not designed for the ratchet head. I think you could actually slide it down in there deeper than I had it. Yeah. Well, maybe I won't buy another pouch. I hate spending money on things if I've got something that'll work. Now that fits. I could carry it just like that. I could actually carry this with it and add a bunch of bits. And I've got a nice little toolkit there, and that's not a lot of space, guys. If you're throwing this into, you know, like I said, one of the bigger Maxpedition packs or sling bag, you know, waist pack, backpack, front pocket. I mean, you can fit that in your back pocket. I've seen I've seen some old timers that have wallets that are way thicker than this, and they carry it every day. You know, those are the kind of guys you see sit down and they're leaned over to one side because their wallet's so thick. So that, you know, that guy might be like, hey, that's no bigger than my wallet. I'll just throw it in my back pocket and go. But easy to throw in a front pocket if you're wearing, you know, drawstring shorts, sweatpants, anything like that. It's not super heavy, so it's not going to weigh you down too much if you're just throwing it in just to have something with you. But it would be good, to, you know, on a belt loop and hooking it to your molly. But you can almost build a whole complete system around without having a different ratchet head, right? So you have your extension, you have your bits ready. You have this ratchet head, which is smaller than, let's look at my smallest one that I have, which will be my Titan, right? In comparison, takes up more room. This is the offset, so it's going to take up a lot more space. This is a lot more narrow and flat, so it's easier to store that one than the Titan. But the Titan, you know, it's been a great ratchet. I've used that thing so many times. If anybody's ever worked on the rear sliding glass window on a old model square body Bronco, I've got a 91. That was the only thing I could use to get the screws out of the motor to replace the motor on my sliding back glass. There's like this much room to get in there. That thing worked, the Titan. This thing would have worked like a champ, because the Titan, I didn't have a lot of reach. But when I add this on here, I've got a lot more reach. And just think, if you buy, you know, if you have a 6-inch extension, now you've got a pretty long 1/4-inch ratchet driver or bit driver. What do y'all think? This is my first Galvanox, you know, tool. I like it. Like I said, the quality control was a little bit off. You know, if we're going to do these reviews, we got to be honest. It didn't take much with a little bit of elbow grease and a flat file. Didn't take but maybe 30 seconds at the most to get it to fit. I know some people, if you buy a tool, you want it to work as it should. I get that. Especially when you're paying, you know, $17 to $25 for this thing, depending on whether you find it on sale or not. But for the convenience factor of, if you have a regular 1/4-inch bit, you're not going to fit it in any other tool other than a 1/4-inch bit tool, right? Well, this bridges the gap, because it will fit in your all the flat bit tools, like I showed you, the Decoyus and the Leatherman, and still fit in anything that has a 1/4-inch and anything that has 4mm if you buy the adapter. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this. Like always, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, click all the notifications. We do have memberships up. If you want to join and get a membership to support the channel, we would appreciate it. We also have our merch shop up. Best way to support the channel is browse through, find you a hat, find you a sticker, find you a hoodie, whatever. You can support the channel that way. And we have the Buy Me a Coffee up as well, if you choose to do that. Anyways, guys, love y'all. Catch you on the next one.